Now, for those people who are having trouble finding love, what's some advice or something you could tell them to help them fall in love or find love? How did it happen for you?
I say be honest with who you are. Don't do yourself the disservice of being anything other than yourself, because later on you have to live with that dishonesty with yourself, and you might not attract the right person. I am as crazy today as I was when I met my husband. When he asked me certain questions, and I was like, yeah, that's me, that's who I am. And it may be shocking, to be honest about who you are, but it's worth it later on because you want somebody to fall in love with your ridiculous. And that way, if they fall in love with your ridiculous, they will stay because you're going to be that ridiculous for the rest of your life. So be honest with yourself and that person about who you are.
Now, were there any moments where you doubted what love could look like for you?
Absolutely. I never thought I would get married. That wasn't something that I thought would happen. I've never had a problem getting a boyfriend or anything like that. I mean, I think people are attracted to me in that way. But I never thought I never thought that I couldn't find what I needed. I just felt like I didn't want to date anymore. I just felt like I had gotten to a point where it's like, God, send me the right person for me. You made me, you know all about me. Will you send me the right person because I'm screwing it up? And I really left it in God's hands. And I really dated myself, and then he came along. So I was dating me at that point. And I think if you can date yourself and know how you are, that is an amazing thing. So I took myself out to dinner and I bought myself lobster and I, got myself a bottle of champagne. I dated myself and I'm like, if I can do this for me, whoever I date also needs to be able to do this with me. Not necessarily for me, but they should be willing to do that as well. Be honest. I had to be honest with myself. This is the high end stuff that I want to do and I like, and I also want to cook for somebody. I cooked for myself during that time. I would set the table, with my wine glass and my plate and and everything, and I would sit there and I'd be going, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful." I dated myself. And so I think people should date themselves. And there were other times I was like, "You suck." You're a sucky date because now you got an attitude. It's like, why do you have an attitude? Why are you mad because you got to do this? I was honest with myself and I kept a journal. I think once you do that, you know who you are asking someone to date. And then you can also choose whether or not that person is congruent with you and your life. But be honest about who you are, from the get go. If you high maintenance, don't start lying. You high maintenance.